Blend shape targets have a linear nature, which can lead to drawbacks in how a model looks in an in-between state. To break this linearity, usually in-betweens are used, with the disadvantage that the linear interpolation cannot be edited. Only the position of the in-between can be defined. The shape sequence is an alternative to the standard in-between and allows to define the blending between all participating shapes. This gives the user more control and produces usable results. Basically, it's only a blended list of target shapes, which are dialed in and out before the actual blend shape end target is reached. To set up a shape sequence, we first need all intermediate shapes to be set up, and the end shape needs to be driven by a shape driver. The driver type doesn't matter. In my case, I want to improve the deformation of the elbow when the arm is bending. The elbow end shape is already driven by the lower arm joint through a set-driven key at an angle of 135 degrees. There are also two intermediate sequence shapes, one at 45 degrees and another one at 90 degrees. The goal is to have the shapes appear in and out in the correct order while the arm is bent. To start creating the sequence, click the Shape Driver button at the end target shape and choose Edit Sequence. The target list switches to a different view and allows you to define the sequence shapes. The sequence end shape is indicated by the red color. With the intermediate shape selected, press the Add to Sequence button. The targets are added to the sequence folder with the sliders at a default value of 0.5. Of course, it doesn't make sense to have both shapes at the same value, so you have to edit these values. The first field contains the driver value, at which the shape should be active. In my case, this is the angle of the lower arm. The second field displays the blend shape value of the sequence end shape. Set the first fields to the value which represents the pose of the current shape. In my case, this is 45 degrees and 90 degrees. With the Sort button, you can sort the sequence target shapes, but this is for display only. The sorting will be applied automatically when the sequence is set up. The last remaining setting is the interpolation type, which means how the targets are blended in respect to each other. For now I leave it to smooth, but you will see in a bit that this might not be the best choice. To confirm the creation of the sequence, press the Update Sequence button. The sequence is now active, indicated by the target end shape, which displays a little triangle in its icon. This shows that the shape is driven by a set-driven key and is controlling the sequence. The sequence targets, or intermediate shapes, have their own icon, marking them as being part of the sequence. We can see the result of the sequence and how the rotation of the arm drives the different shapes in and out. The result is alright, but could be better. Let's take a look at the created driving relationship. With one of the sequence shapes selected, go to the Channel Actions menu and choose Select Sequence Master. This selects the node which controls the sequence. Since this is all set-driven key-based, we can see the result in the graph editor. The shapes are smoothly blended in and out. To improve the result, we need to go back and edit the sequence. Alternatively, we can of course edit the curves right here in the graph editor, but it's easier to try a different preset first. To edit the sequence, I can press any of the icon buttons and choose Edit Sequence. The interface displays the current setting of my sequence. I set the interpolation type to Silky, which creates a much better interpolation for this type of application. If you want to cancel the edit, press the Cancel button. To update the sequence, press the Update Sequence button. At this point, the entire sequence is rebuilt, which means that any manual edits to the sequence curves get lost. This is important to keep in mind. Manual edits of shape sequences are also not respected when exporting the blend shape setup. With the updated interpolation, we can see that the result is much smoother because the curve interpolation has a faster activation and a delayed release. To delete a sequence, you need to remove all sequence targets while in sequence edit mode. Select all sequence targets and press the Remove from Sequence button. Now, only the sequence end target, colored in red, is left in the list. After pressing the Update Sequence button, the sequence is removed from the setup, but the shape driver for the sequence end target remains.